like basketball. Basketball I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast, the only NBA podcast that talks about LeBron's contract. We're the only one to do it, and so I know you guys have been clamoring for news on that front.
We're the only podcast where one person is pro Gracie Abrams and a sea of Gracie Abrams hate.
I wouldn't say I haven't listened to enough Gracie Abrams to really have a hard stance on her. This could be a nice segue into nepotism talk for the day, I suppose, because she
She a nepotism baby? Yes.
Absolutely.
Is every other singer in the world? Yes. Julian Casablancas from The Strokes? Yes.
Oh my God! So you have the Strokes and you have Gracie Abrams, and then you're just like everybody is. Oh my God!
Well, the Strokes are the best. If they're nepotism, anybody could be. His dad invented the concept of the supermodel.
Oh, okay. See, the Strokes, I like the Strokes, but listening to them through the lens of like my dad is a nepotism baby, that makes they have a lot of commercial music. A lot of their songs wind up on commercials.
Yeah, the later songs for sure. And they met, I think they met at like a boarding school in Sweden or Switzerland.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Which is crazy because their music sounds like they are working at Blockbuster and just making rent. But I guess that's not the case.
Yeah, no. I'm Googling. Oh, well. I Googled, is the Cure nepotism babies? No results on that front. All the results are links that says missing Cure, show results with Cure. There's no links like that. So I'm gonna say the Cure anti-nepotism babies.
You can't search that. Fauci took that down. You can't search for the Cure.
God, whatever. You can't search for the Cure. That's funny. I like that. The Cure is on top. Everybody go listen to the Cure.
Do you know the video where the guy's like, "Do you like the Cure?" And then she presses the button to reject it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a ton of those. There has to be one of those for the Strokes out there, because for the Smiths, there's obviously the 500 Days of Summer scene where they're in the elevator and she's like, I love the Smiths. And then, do you like the Cure? He gets rejected immediately. That's like the big three of I don't even know what genre to call that, but just like stupid pop punk or pop punk rock-ish kind of bands. I don't know. So we have two big segments today. There's a bunch of more free agent signings that have gone down since we last spoke. Not all of them are exactly as high profile as Paul George, but they're still fun. They're still exciting. And then we have a variety of Lauri Markkanen trade destinations to review. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with Buddy Hield.
Oh, okay. I don't have shit written down about Buddy Hield. There was like a sign and trade thing going on this morning. What happened with that?
Yes. Let me pull it up just to be safe. But he's heading to the Warriors to be the Klay Thompson replacement. Oh, it's not done yet. They are in serious talks on a sign and trade deal to get Buddy Hield. I want to see this because he can be a lot of what Klay Thompson is, but not like he's probably still worse on defense than Klay is at this point.
Is he better like on ball? Like if you give both of them a Draymond screen and a dribble heading downhill, is Buddy Hield better than Klay Thompson right now?
He might be, honestly. I feel like he's probably a better passer, and then yeah, he might be.
Yeah, I still think, and I am so out on Klay defensively right now. Like we could talk. Klay is new, right? Like we didn't talk about Klay yet.
No, we got it at the buzzer, remember?
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm really out on Klay's defense at this point in his career. I still think he's better than Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is so bad on that end of the floor. So yeah, I think it'll be cool. That'll be interesting if it ends up going through. But overall, I don't know. I think the Warriors were still kind of, if they pull off a Lauri Markkanen trade, maybe that's something. But right now, I don't even think they're like a tier 2 team in the West. I'll give them like a low tier 3 team, but there's just not that much going on with them.
They need to get Seth Curry too. They need to just assemble all those guys.
That would be sick. Yeah. So Buddy Hield, it'd be nice. I would call that a good pickup for them. But yeah, just the overall, what was it? They turned Jordan Poole and Chris Paul and Klay Thompson into 2 second-round picks is the haul they've gotten. So definitely didn't just luck into a generational player and then a couple of late draft hits and then signing the second best player on the planet when your team just had the opportunity to do so. None of that was luck. It was all skill-based. And
Bob Myers could have fixed this and kept the dynasty going. He just didn't feel like it.
Just didn't feel like it.
Just didn't want to.
We have a couple, so big extensions. I guess LeBron is a free agent signing, and then Tatum is a contract extension. LeBron, 2 years, $104 million, no trade clause, and a player option next season. So we could do the whole free agency cycle again, like you said.
Epic.
I hope to go see LeBron this year, because I don't want to wait until his farewell. Like the tickets for that are going to be impossible to get. So if I could catch him next year, I would be happy with that. I feel the same way about Wemby. I should have gone to see him this year. I could have gotten tickets to that pretty easily. And yeah, I just feel like within 2 years, that's going to be another ticket. That's like $400 just to, I mean, maybe with the Wizards winning 20 games, probably not, but it'll still be a little more expensive than normal. How do you feel about the LeBron contract?
It's cool. My first thought is just, okay, so he could very much go somewhere else next year. I wonder what kind of result there would be for him to stay. Like how, if they make conference finals, but they get thumped, does he stay?
Alternatively, the reaction to this that I've heard, I think he would. It feels like people think this is his last contract, and so like maybe he's just done in 2 years. What do you think?
No, I feel like the last contract, I feel like it wouldn't have the player option. I feel like he would just take max amount of years or whatever. But I don't know, because he's still so good. He's still one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
And it's just hard for me to see him going out when he's still that good and the money is getting this high. And I don't think it's his last contract. I think he'll be around for I feel like he'll be around for like 3 more years or something crazy until he declines.
Okay. Yeah, it would surprise me if it was his last contract. I just don't know. I'm not super familiar with the teams that are going to have cap space next year. I think there's more of them than there was this offseason. San Antonio, you said?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Chris Paul, Wemby?
That would be crazy. And that'd be very early 2000s Cleveland pilled. Like if we're talking GOAT prospects, LeBron and Wemby allegories or parallels. San Antonio picking up 2 guys who are just fucking ancient but huge names. That's like such a 2005, 2006 Cleveland Cavaliers move.
It actually would have been so cool if LeBron and Bronny went there right now, and he's like, I want Popovich to develop my son, and then they're running Chris Paul, Bronny, Vassell, LeBron, and Wemby. That'd be epic.
That would be sick. Bronny, I mean, fuck it. Bronny can be our number 2 headliner. He signed his rookie contract today. It's 4 years, like $7.9 million. I'm pretty sure. I'm not super familiar with like the second round contracts. I don't think they're usually guaranteed. I find it hard to believe they're $2 million a year for 4 seasons. Do you know what they're like?
Well, they can be guaranteed, because let me bring up Miami recently guaranteed a guy they took in the second round. Let me see what he got. I think he got partially guaranteed 3-year, $5.4 million. So I think this is surprising, but I think this, like this isn't super common, but I think this does happen. But
Okay.
yeah, I think this is like the max they could give him.
Well, good for him, I guess. A little calm little bag for Bronny James. I'm not going to hold my breath on him being an impact player next season or anything. I think it's going to be
How much is
just
it per year?
a little under 2. I read $7.9 million.
I'd rather have that than Josh Giddey.
Yeah, no kidding. there's a very little I think if we tried to come up with a list of stuff we would rather have Josh Giddey over, it would be incredibly short.
Yeah. Being a Clippers fan, that's about it.
Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, that's the I don't know, immovable object, unstoppable force thing is the Chicago Bulls versus the Clippers right now. Although I feel like that almost characterizes the Bulls in an unfair light because they made one shrewd move for a guy who may or may not be a pedophile. The Clippers are like actively going through like arrest records, being like, "Is this guy 6'7"? Holy shit! This is. I mean, we need him."
It's like the Moneyball scene where he's like, they're sitting in front of the TV and Jonah Hill's showing him Kevin Euclid. He's like, he does this, but he walks like a duck, so they don't want him. But instead they're in front of the TV. He's like, he does this, but he strangles women, so they don't want him. This is where we strike. This is our market inefficiency. We can recreate a law-abiding citizen in the aggregate because what's it called? Kevin Porter Jr. tried to kill a woman, but Josh Primo didn't. But Josh Primo flashed a woman. Kevin Porter Jr. didn't do that. So we put them together in the aggregate. They're
okay. In the aggregate, Kevin Porter Jr. hates women too much. Primo loves women too much, and so if you combine it on the stat sheet, that is one person who completely respects women. Wow. Holy shit!
When you throw Mason Plumlee into the aggregation, that's like this is like 0.03 arrests per person or something crazy.
Well, Plumlee's in Phoenix now, so you're gonna have to factor Mo Bamba.
Oh, is that where he went? Why did I think he went back to the Clippers? Oh, they got Mo Bamba too. Oh my God! The wingspan, it just keeps giving.
All right, Tatum, 5 years, $314 million. Pretty sensible thing for a team that just won the NBA championship. He was their best player for the postseason. They are, after next season, paying their starters a combined $180 million. I think whoever buys the team is going to be very comfortable with paying the luxury tax. So I don't know how much that is going to be a problem for them, but
we have the aprons. Yeah. We don't know what they are, but they're out there.
I'm curious. I saved a tweet today that explained the consequences of the second apron pretty well. I'm just I think this will be a fun in practice examination of them, because if you really don't give a fuck about luxury taxes, how much does the second apron matter in terms of fleshing out the rest of your roster? I think this will be an interesting experiment with that. It does have real consequences.
Yeah, it takes draft picks, doesn't it? Or it moves them to the back of the round.
It drops them to 30th, 6 or 7 years, something like that. You can't trade a certain amount of draft picks. You can't do sign-in trades. That was another thing that stuck out to me that we've seen a couple of this offseason. And then it just fucks with your ability to sign mid-level exception free agents. The amount of money you can take back in trades, or if a guy got waived and his pre-waive salary was $13 million or more, you can't sign him, I don't believe. So it's just shit like that. I'm curious. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Boston, the same as everybody will over the next several years, just to see how that kind of affects them, even though they clearly are very comfortable spending money.
What a weird thing they agreed to. I saw someone say that this is only possible because their bench is making everyone on their bench is on really good deals. And so
Their bench is not that good, by the way. So Sam Hauser, he's cool, and Peyton Pritchard, I do think is like a solid bench guy, but yeah, they're on good contracts because like Luke Cornett is not that good of a basketball player. I don't know what to tell you guys.
No, he was like a garbage time player for the Bulls. Who else? Oh yeah, I like Tillman. I saw someone saying Tillman is like a huge steal. I don't know. I feel like we kind of know what Tillman is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're really, it's just Sam Hauser, I guess. That's good off their bench. And then
I do like Peyton Pritchard. It's just I don't know, scrappy 6'1" guy. It's not like a game changer that you're bringing off the bench. But yeah, Sam Hauser is good as well.
Yeah, with Peyton Pritchard, I just feel like there's so many guys who could be that, but they just decided to give him the opportunity. I feel like he's an industry plant.
I don't know. I didn't realize he was as good of a shooter as he is. That surprised me.
There are lots of good shooters out there. He's a half court
39% on like 5 attempts a game off the bench. That's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are
lots of good small shooters out there.
All right, whatever. So yeah, the Tatum extension makes sense. Good for him. They're gonna try to go back to back next year. We have speaking of back to back, two centers for the Magic that got signed back to back. Goga Bitadze, 3 years, $25 million. Mo Wagner, 2 years, $22 million. What's going to happen with Wendell Carter Jr. as a result of this? That's where my brain goes immediately. It doesn't make a ton of sense to pay $8 million for like a third string center that's never really going to see the floor. So I'm just curious what they're thinking. How do you feel about those two contracts?
So they're both back to Orlando, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, because like Goga was good for them last year, but then as soon as Wendell got healthy, they were like, "You're on the bench, buddy. You don't get to play."
Mm-hmm.
And they also re-signed Isaac, right? To a bigger deal.
So yeah, their front court, they have a lot of like quality front court players. Isaac, there's obviously health concerns, but
yeah. So I guess I would assume they're just running it back, right? And Wendell's not a free agent, is he?
No.
He's just in trade rumors.
Yeah, most of this, I feel like, so if he was available in trades, theoretically, he's probably the best, like, realistic get at center for any team that still needs a center. New Orleans, the Pelicans pop out as like a team that really doesn't have a big man. Shout out to Yves or whatever his name is. I saw his cool pre-draft training video of his workouts in Africa. Very inspiring stuff.
Crazy. That's I didn't see that until like yesterday.
Yeah. But so yeah, teams like that, as opposed to, there's really not that many good free agent centers left. So like if they wanted to pull off a little move, if he was available, that would be cool. But just in terms of running it back, Goga, I really liked Bitadze for them when he played. Like it felt like he made their defense almost like another level, just in terms of how good he was at protecting the rim. And he's worse offensively than Wendell Carter Jr. But I don't know, with the KCP addition, if Franz isn't dog shit at shooting next year, if we get a step out of Paolo and all the other young guys on their team, maybe they're not as desperate for offense. And if you could prioritize defense at the center spot, I really like Bitadze for them.
They also re-signed Gary Harris, didn't they? So
yeah,
they're really just running it back. Mm-hmm. Have they gotten anybody new? Oh, they got KCP.
Yeah, that's the big get for them. And I don't hate that. Like bringing it back. None of these deals are killer if they don't work out. Like they're not super long. It's not a ton of money. I like Gary Harris. He's another health concern guy, but when he's healthy, I think he's a staunch defender and he can shoot pretty effectively, which even with the KCP addition, they're still going to need next year. And so, I'm cool with them running it back. I don't think this was the off season for them to take like a big swing and try to break into the top 4, top 3 teams in the East.
Yeah, when I saw that Gary Harris deal, I was like, could the Nuggets not have gone out and gotten this guy?
I felt the exact same way. Yeah. Thanks, Calvin Booth. Oh my God, yeah. it was annoying. It's frustrating because Gary Harris is the OG Nugget from way back. He was one of like, it was him, Jokic, and Jamal for a little while there. Were like our young core, and it was like, oh fuck yeah. And then trading him for Aaron Gordon, you do it 10 times out of 10. But emotionally, I remember that being a little painful. It was like, damn, it's Gary Harris. And so yeah, I getting him back would have been a nice consolation prize, but I guess what was his contract? Do you know?
Not that much. Was it like 2 years, 14 or something?
Let me see. Yeah, 2 years, $14 million, dude. $7 million a year. Can't fucking afford him. It just costs too much money to exist in Denver. Holy shit.
Oh, and did you see who was it? I think remember there were reports that KCP got offered the similar money or like the same money by Denver but just turned it down. I think his wife. They said it was his wife on Instagram comments.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, she said fault, and I mean, don't really know what incentive she would have to lie about that. So,
women be lying and women be shopping.
Ah, yeah, that's the two definitive things that makes a woman. I forgot about that. So, women be lying, women be shopping. She wasn't shopping. If she's on you could shop on Instagram actually. So, the jury's out on that front. We don't know what she was up to, but I believe her personally. Do you have any signings? Did we talk about OG Anunoby getting paid?
I don't know. I feel like we talked about it with the bigger picture Knicks, but now with Hardesty out of the picture, I wonder, could they have gotten Goga or no?
It feels like it. Again, it's a little over $8 million a year, and the Knicks are very expensive right now, so maybe they didn't want to do that. Because I'm not sure. I think Brunson is like 2 more years on his current contract, which is insane value. It's like 20. He's making $25 million next year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy who was just like
Allen Iverson,
like the 6th best player in the playoffs, lowballing him. Yeah, $25 million is fucking crazy. So yeah. They don't really have a big man right now. Precious Achiuwa is still a free agent. I think Jericho Sims is the guy that Knicks Twitter is he's got hops. Someone quote tweeted a highlight video of him, and they're like, this guy plays like a raw 19-year-old, and that's really cool until you figure out that he's going to be 26 at the start of next season. He is a crazy athlete, though.
When Buddy Hield, someone did the thing where they posted Buddy Hield Oklahoma highlights. They're like, this is the demon they're getting.
Oh, that's so funny. So yeah, OG Anunoby, $42 million a year. That's a ton of money. I just wanted to make sure we hit on that, even though we have kind of already broken
Zach LaVine money.
Oh shit. Who would you rather have? It's tough. I really have to think about that. Oh my god.
Do I need someone who can dunk?
OG Anunoby, famously unathletic.
I don't know. He doesn't get to the rim quite as easy.
He doesn't glide. Glide. I'll give him that. Zach LaVine glides.
I need someone with speed. I need someone with speed and then some cool plays. I don't know. Do I need flash or do I need substance?
Zach LaVine, definitely more handsome. If you're building a handsome team, Zach LaVine clears OG Anunoby. Kyle Anderson to the Golden State Warriors, sign and trade.
He's going to tell them Minnesota's weaknesses.
Oh, shit. And that'll definitely be a big help to Golden State when they're competitive in the playoffs. Definitely. That's definitely going to happen.
He's basically new Draymond.
They already have Draymond.
Now they can trade Draymond for new Klay Thompson. Oh no, Buddy Hield is new Klay Thompson. All right, who do they need in the aggregate? They need a new Sean Livingston. Who's out there?
Oh, okay, new Andre Iguodala maybe.
Oh well, that's Wiggins.
Oh shit, I forgot about him.
And maybe Kuminga somebody. All right.
Okay. New Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, we need new Andrew Bogut. Who's Andrew Bogut out there? Donovan Clingan. No.
It would have been Goga. That's the most Andrew Bogut motherfucker I've seen in years in terms of how they move around the floor.
Oh, they should have got Jonas.
Oh, damn. Sorry.
Maybe
Washington
they still can.
Masterclass, per usual. Wizards Masterclass. So yeah, Kyle Anderson, 3 years, $27 million to the Golden State Warriors. It's a sign-in trade, so Minnesota, they get a second-round pick swap and cash considerations that were not, like, weren't detailed. So it could be $1 billion, but it's probably like $500,000 or something.
Cash considerations is a big time like inside joke with Bulls fans. I think there's a whole podcast called Cash Considerations. I don't know if they're still around. I feel like they're still around. They're pretty big because people were so angry at Garpax for trading Jordan Bell for cash considerations. And we were like, oh my God, you just gave this guy, because he had like a big time like March Madness run.
I remember Jordan Bell.
Yeah, at Oregon, and he seemed like the guy the Bulls could use. And then we were all I think we were rebuilding, and they traded him for cash considerations, and we're like, "What are you doing? We need players." And so yeah, and it turned out he wasn't that good. But for a minute there, he was swatting everything for the Warriors.
He was crazy,
He was
athlete.
literally Ben Wallace.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. There was like a guy who played for the Warriors that had a really cool March Madness run. He was like an undersized front court guy. Eric something.
Oh, Eric Paschal?
That might be it. Let me see. Let me look him up.
He was like Draymond.
Yeah.
He was. I think he's part of the Villanova Wildcats. The Brunson Bridges.
Oh yeah, stuff. The Knicks need to pick him up. They need
to
complete the trifecta
and get Colin Gillespie.
Yeah, he was 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists his rookie year. Finished 6th in rookie year voting. Didn't do a lot after that, but who cares? So yeah, Kyle Anderson. We got 2 Clippers signings. Neither one are violent criminals, so I suppose that's a step in the right. Unless you count being French as a violent crime.
We didn't talk Kevin Porter Jr. yet.
I thought we did. That's when I told somebody to K themselves on last week's podcast.
Oh, we did. Okay, we're good. We're
to take care of themselves, but I spelled it with a K.
Porter, your junior.
Yeah. So Kevin Porter Jr. They're also reported to be shopping around. Well, I don't know exactly what the report was because I saw one report for sure that said Miles Bridges is interested in the Clippers because he likes how they quote unquote give players second chances. But I didn't see a report that said the Clippers are interested in him. So I'm not sure how much motion that track has. But they picked up Nicholas Batum, 2 years, $9.6 million, and then Mo Bamba, 1 year, $2.6 million. I wrote down, it's insane that Mo Bamba qualifies for the vet minimum. Like that in terms of like shit that makes me feel a little bit old, that is definitely up there.
He never became more famous than the song. What a bummer.
It's a great song though.
Yeah, the Clippers are so screwed either way. I just hope Kawhi leaves at this point. I want Kawhi to force a trade or something. I just want this to devolve into a disaster. I want that stadium empty. I want OKC getting the number 1 overall pick because these idiots messed up, even though I support the original trade. And I want Kawhi to go somewhere else and become healthy instantly. Go to San Antonio with LeBron and Bronny and Chris Paul.
Yeah, it is crazy how the Kevin Porter Jr. pickup, like 2 weeks ago, I looked at the Clippers and I'm like, oh man, you're the little brother in your own city and you took this huge swing on a trade that everybody would have made. Like it was literally for the best player on the planet and a guy who was just a finalist in MVP voting. It was monumental. It felt like it really put them into title contention. And since then, they have made a lot of like pretty savvy moves. It's not like they've surrounded them with dog shit. Like
they have some big time rosters.
Yeah. Like they were putting shit out there, and it was just like Kawhi can't stay healthy. Their one opportunity in the bubble, they choked that 3-1 lead. Like I was looking at them, and it's just like a little bit of like sadness. You're like, damn, it's just not working out for a team that really did everything right. And then they pick up Kevin Porter Jr. and I'm just like, oh, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. Like, disintegrate. Like, there is not a move I can think of that would have made me be like, Oh shit. Yeah, I don't care about your misfortunes any more than that specific pickup.
You deserve to be a loser for that. Like, and it's not like these guys are like all-stars or something. Like this is Kevin Porter Jr. who would have trouble getting signed purely based off basketball reasons. Like everyone hated him everywhere he went. He didn't get along with teammates. He was throwing soup in the locker room. He once threw a tantrum because they
He
switched
left the
his
game
roster
early.
to a different spot. He's a baby. And he's just a shot chucker. He's genuinely an idiot on the court. And like, so I don't know how would he have gotten the steal, like even without the off the court issues. Then you throw in the on the court issues. There's no reason this guy should be in the NBA. No one was pining for him to return to the NBA. Like this is why I hate Adam Silver. Like the idea that they can ban Jonte Porter for life instantaneously, but when it comes to this stuff, he's just like, I don't know. I'm hands off, guys.
Hands off. He spent a year out of the league already. That was his suspension.
His girlfriend that he almost killed, she broke up with him. What else do you want?
Jeez, the guy's already. We want me to kick him while he's down? Come on, guys. Jeez, show some compassion.
He was stuck in Greece playing basketball. That's the worst thing in the world.
I like Greek food well enough.
70 degrees every day.
I'm not the biggest. 70 degrees is fine if that's the highest it
You're
gets.
crazy. He's anti-Mediterranean climate. That's crazy.
I've never experienced the Mediterranean climate. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You couldn't live on the coast eating fish fresh from the sea.
Oh, that could be chill. Yeah, I could live like a romanticized solitude fisherman pilled existence. I could see it working out if I get to live in a Santorini or wherever those like cool white houses and the cliffs are. I could fuck with that. But
the language is easy to learn. You just got to add Greek endings to every word. So you say, "Where's the restaurant Annapolis?"
Ah, yeah, I was just gonna say. Oh man, so we could talk about Bull to the Phoenixopolis Sinopolises, Bulbolopolis. Yeah, Bull 2 years or 1 year, $2.9 million going back to Phoenix. They also signed Monte Morris. That's a bigger get for them than a guy who's probably not going to play that much. Monte Morris, he's good. I think he'll probably start for them.
Is that, you know what? Who was starting for them? Eric Gordon and Royce O'Neal. Oh, Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
They re-signed Royce O'Neal too, right?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, all right. You re-sign Royce O'Neal. You sign Monte Morris. You retain Grayson Allen. You get Mason Plumlee instead of Drew Eubanks, and you bring back Bull.
Wait, is Nurkic still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they already had Bull, so I don't know how much. I don't know if we're seeing any more of him.
Is this a team?
Is Budenholzer going to unlock him?
Is Budenholzer coaching them?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I totally forgot about that. Oh my god. Well, yeah. Bull is pretty much skinny Giannis, and so like you can just run all the same shit.
That could be the Triple Towers lineup. It was really good defensively.
Yeah. Do you feel like that is a better Suns team though, with Monte Morris, Plumlee as the backup, Grayson Allen's still there, and which one did I just say? And bringing Royce O'Neal back as well.
It feels marginal. That it feels like they're screwed still. So I don't know. There would have to be a more enticing move for me. I don't think Bud's gonna work his magic. I don't know.
Yeah. I do think there's room for Devin Booker to have a better season next year. That's one spot I could look to and be like,
And he missed time at the beginning last year, didn't he? Yeah.
So like continuity wise, and just in terms of him, I mean, at the onset of this experiment, he was like the third best shooting guard in the league unanimously, maybe even number one.
I mean, he was coming off a crazy playoff run, and then like 30, 35 on like 65% true shooting, something insane.
On big volume, like 9 or 10 games, I think.
I mean, over the course of 2 series, right? Because who did they play? The Nuggets, and who was the first round for them?
Oh man, who did they play in the first round? It might have been the Clippers again.
But yeah, they and then Devin Booker was like on fire to start the year as a passer. So I don't know. They have 2 of the best players in the league, but they still feel screwed. So they need to trade everyone.
Yeah, that's the Bradley Beal effect. I mean that contract is so.
Oh, we forgot Bradley Beal starting. Well, I guess he was in and out so much.
Yeah. Okay. We already touched on Xavier Tillman resigns with Boston 2 years, $4.7 million. And then maybe the most exciting pickup of the offseason, the Indiana Pacers give out 2 years to one James Wiseman.
Whoa!
No monetary details yet. I was trying to find this earlier this morning, and it just hasn't dropped. But yeah, James Wiseman to Indiana. Who was their backup center last year after
Jalen Smith?
Oh, and he's gone. So maybe we'll get some.
My Bulls poached him.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some Wiseman post ups, and then maybe the overwhelming offensive talent of Indiana can make him into like a passable scorer.
I think he can be like 70% of Jalen Smith, maybe. Then so the thing about James Wiseman is everyone thought he was a freak athlete because when he runs in a straight line, he's super duper fast. Like his end-to-end speed is really, really fast. He's just not that good at jumping, but people didn't realize that. And so when you're playing in transition so much, what helps? Having end-to-end really fast speed. So he actually could get some good transition finishes for them. And then he might be able to block some shots, like not play good defense overall, but just get some blocks. And then he is a fake shooter, but maybe he gets hot in maybe on 1 attempt per game he gets hot this year.
Hey, last 10 games of last year's regular season.
And then we're just looking up at the new Jalen Smith.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so Marvin, who would you rather have right now, Marvin Bagley or James Wiseman?
Wait, did he shoot threes in the last 10 games?
75%, baby.
On how many?
I think like 2 attempts a game, maybe.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Probably Wiseman, because Bagley is just like, they both have one superpower. And so Wiseman, he runs really fast in a straight line, and then Bagley has a really good second jump. So what power do you want?
I want second jump.
Whoa.
I've never seen fuller stats than Marvin Bagley's 15 points and 8 rebounds with the Washington Wizards last year. I mean, he was a force. He shot nearly 48% from the field. Oh my God.
Did you see him at Duke?
Yeah, I watched a little of him at Duke. I liked him. I thought he was cool as fuck when he was playing for Duke, but just didn't pan out in the NBA.
He was crazy. Him and Wendell. Oh, they need to reunite him and Wendell. They were a big time high-low front court.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any other signings you want to touch on?
I don't know. Who else has there been?
That's all I wrote down. That's the end of my list. You can check your list if you want to run, if there's anything else that really sticks out to you. I'm sure somebody's on the other side of this screen being like, you're missing this guy right now. Come on, man. My team just picked him up. He's huge. He's going to be huge for us. He's not. He's not going to be big.
Where did Eubanks go?
The Jazz.
Could be huge for them. And Omer, who got Omer Yurtseven?
He's a free agent still.
He's a free agent. Wow.
I think he could be good. It could be a nice little backup or something.
The Lakers, they're hiring Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks as top assistants to be
epic
to help out JJ. let's see. I'm scrolling through NBA Reddit to see if we missed anything. The Warriors' decision to extend Wiggins and Poole in 2022 did not sit well with Draymond and Clay.
Well, they should have done something about it.
Oh yeah, did you see Draymond said he was gonna go to the Grizzlies last year?
I did see that. Yeah. That would have been a cool team. I mean, it would be a cool team this season. They still would have been fucking super injured last year, probably.
It makes it funnier in thinking about it, the Dylan Brooks thing, because remember he was like, the dynasty starts after you, not with you, and so now we know he was like, oh, it's starting with me. Like I'm getting in at the ground level over here. We're gonna start a dynasty.
Epic. Yeah. I don't think there's any big signings beyond that.
We got some big retirements. Kemba
Oh
Walker
yeah.
and Yuta Watanabe.
Yuta retired?
Yeah, well, from the NBA.
Okay, so he's going to play in Japan.
Yeah, I'm staying in Japan.
Dude, I fucking would too. Like,
oh my god, it'd be so sick. He's going back. Like, he's an American millionaire, and now the yen is at its lowest point. So he's balling over there.
That's like one of the best career arcs I've heard of in a long time. It's like you pull up, you get $12 million ish. I'm not exactly sure what his career earnings are. And then you just go to a place where that's worth 30 times as much. And you are an absolute mega superstar. You're one of the best players in the league there.
And it is a better country.
Yeah.
There are trains. The food is better. Everything is better.
Everything's better. You'll live longer. You will encounter way less things that give you cancer, probably. Yeah. The regulations are better, I would assume. I don't know if the people are nicer in Japan. I'm curious how that works.
I think it's in different ways. Like the average like fast food worker is probably way nicer, but then the average like the average parent might be meaner. I don't know.
The average manager, not quite as not quite as chill.
Hey, work 22 hours, or I'm gonna call your entire family and tell them you're a disgrace to the bloodline or whatever.
And it rocks how that stuff still matters in Japan. Like, disgrace to the bloodline is like a serious threat there.
The Sixers are in discussions to try and sign Haywood Highsmith. He could demand anywhere from $6 to $8 million.
I wonder how much cap space they have left. They have a fair amount of money to work with still, and I would like that for them. Haywood Highsmith, he's a guy who he will average 7 points in a playoff series, but he will give you 25 in a playoff game.
Epic. And then there's been some DeMar rumors. Where's DeMar going to end up?
Not next to Josh Giddey. That's for damn sure.
That's for sure. That's epic.
Hey, he's got a daughter. Keep the family away. That's what the internet is saying about that situation. He also, so the shit I saw about DeMar DeRozan was that he is entertaining the idea of taking 1 year somewhere to re-enter in 2025 when there is more teams with cap space available. And just like more opportunities for him to get paid a lot of money, I suppose. But he's also not interested in doing the mid-level exception to go somewhere like LA, or I don't know if Miami was the other team that I heard mentioned, but
yeah, they're one of them. And then the Sixers are popping up vaguely. So yeah, I don't know. He should just take small money and go to a competitive team. But I guess in his mind that'll ruin his market, because then then that'll be the baseline. I don't know, but
I guess
really,
I'm not sure.
The truth is, nobody was going to pay him the money that the Bulls have been paying him, except for the Bulls, like years ago. He's just learning what his market is in the real world.
Yeah, he's like Bulls money is the yen compared to the rest of the NBA.
It really is.
American dollars. Like, they're like, we'll give you $50 million a year, and then he goes outside of Chicago, and they're like, we'll give you $16 million a year.
It's like when we paid Dwayne Wade and Jabari Parker $40 million for 2 years. It's like, what are we doing? No one else was coming close. And then the losers in the fan base. Well, we had to pay somebody. Gotta pay this.
Well,
guy.
you got to use the money. We have the money, guys. Have you ever seen War Dogs with Jonah Hill and
Yes, but I don't remember it very well.
they're like war profiteers during the
Mhm.
Iraq War. But there's a scene where they're like a small company compared to like I don't know, fucking Lockheed Martin or the other defense contractors. And there's a scene where they meet with the government, and the government's like, "Yeah, you lowballed everybody by like $50 million." And that's how I feel about the Bulls in reverse. Is that they have a meeting, and Demar's like, "Oh, you overshot by $20 million. Like nobody else offered me anything close to this. But thanks for putting the contract on the table, guys."
One nuke. I'll take that for $20 trillion. Damian Lee is returning to the Phoenix Suns on a 1-year deal. I didn't know Damian Lee was on the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, damn. The end of the Suns bench. I assume the Suns next year will be one of those basketball reference rosters that's like it's like 20 guys long. Like it's just like a list of names of guys who got like 16 games for them before getting cut or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Phoenix is cooked.
They need
But
to go to China. Get Sharif Cooper, you cowards. It'll save your life.
all right, right on, right on. Do you have any other?
Donovan Mitchell extension. Did we talk that?
No, we did not. I like it. Good for him. Good for Cleveland. Also, they've been the subject of he's leaving, and I mean in the interest of clarity, I have been somebody who's like it does not make sense for him to stay here.
We did spend the entire season saying, "Yeah, he's out of here. Get this team out of here. This team is gross. This team sucks."
Hey, when they were good during the win streak, we were nice to them. I will maintain that as like a positive aspect of our Cleveland coverage is that when fucking Sam Merrill was shooting the lights out, when Dean Wade was a member of the league's best defense over the past 15 games, yeah, it was sick as hell. Like they were cool. And that version of the team,
the Clippers, they were the toast of the league.
Dude, think back to the Clippers during that streak to where they are now. I mean, one of the biggest 180s in like a long time in the league over the course of like 4 months. So yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell, probably the best shooting guard in the league, top 2, top 3-ish, whatever. I mean, obviously Zach LaVine's right there, but yeah, I think I don't know. Garland hasn't demanded a trade yet, so
I think Mitchell said he told ownership or whatever, I want to keep him.
Okay, right on, right on. Oh, I was under the impression that Garland's camp was upset, and like he would.
Oh, they were, weren't they? Is he clutch?
I don't know if he's clutch off the top of my head, but regardless, right now it doesn't feel to me like he is going to demand a trade. It feels like that would have boiled over by now.
Yeah.
Or there would at least be more rumblings like Darius Garland's really unhappy. Darius Garland's representatives have been arguing with the Cavs on the phone, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I don't know how good Cleveland is going to be with who's their new coach?
Who is their new coach?
It's a famous name.
Yeah. Crap.
Cleveland Cavs coach. It's not Bickerstaff. God damn it.
It is not.
Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson. That's who it is.
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah. He could be, I mean, maybe Jared Allen fucks with him a lot, but Jared Allen, like, I just don't know how much better they're really going to be unless they display like a new level of synergy with their big four that we just didn't see at all last season. But
I guess the argument would be like Darius Garland, no broken jaw, everyone stays healthy. Evan Mobley shoots threes. Garland can finish again. Yeah, I guess that would be the vibe. But still, it feels like it still feels like the roster construction is flawed, and so it feels crazy that they're rolling into another season with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. It feels like we know the deal with these guys.
Yeah, and that's like you can propose the argument to me that Garland and Mitchell can figure it out together. That
Yeah.
I'm like, fine, whatever. The idea that Mobley is coming into next year, like the fix for that is that he's going to be shooting threes next season. It was cool, 44% or whatever on low volume over a couple of months. It's going to be a long time before defenses really start closing out on that guy. So I just don't know if that's like a legit, reliable thing that you can look forwards towards next season.
Yeah. Stanley Johnson signing. Did you hear?
No, where did Stan sign?
He's agreed to a deal with EuroLeague powerhouse Anadolu Efes. They won the EuroLeague championship in 2 of the last 4 years. So
A dynasty in the making.
that'll be huge for them. Kawhi Leonard went to USA Basketball, worked out for about 45 minutes to an hour. Everyone was left impressed, especially by his shooting, in which he rarely missed a shot. Though that was a concern for Hill and Kerr. Who's Hill?
Grant Hill, maybe?
Grant Hill. Okay. Both left satisfied that Leonard would be healthy enough to contribute. I love that. I love that. Number one, that Kawhi Leonard making all of his wide open shots in the open gym is a shocker. Like, wow, this guy's actually really good. Like, guys,
That's pretty good.
DeAndre Jordan can do this. And then a 45-minute workout is like, whoa, this guy's healthy now.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, he's hurt, but this time he's healthy. I think we're all good now.
Holy shit, did you see that change of direction? Oh my god. Dude, this guy, he can really
He's pretty quiet. He's not hurt.
Yeah, I respect to him for playing for Team USA. It's cool. I want Team USA to win the gold and everything. I think they would with Derek White in the lineup, but it's just and there's more concern for the Embiid piece of it, I feel like, because if you're Philly, you have a shot at the title with Embiid if you can string together health. If you're Los Angeles, now that you lost Paul George and everything, I don't think even with healthy Kawhi, they really have like a legit shot at that. And so if he got hurt in the Olympics, it's a little less of a sting of a hurt. But if Embiid goes down, that's scary for Philly, who looks so juggernaut-esque heading into next season.
Yeah. Oh, voice crack.
Whoa,
yeah.
Grow up, man. Jeez.
Oh, so the Lakers, apparently, they wanted to give a 4-year, $80 million deal to Klay Thompson, but they would have had the Warriors do a sign-in trade where they get D'Lo back. So I guess the Warriors were like, no.
We already had him, and we picked up.
Yeah.
Getting Andrew Wiggins back for him was a glowing success. So we're good on that front.
Discussions were ongoing, but Paul George was increasingly turned off by the Clippers' belief that he wouldn't leave just so that his family could go to the games. They were I like them in meetings, like ownership meetings. They're like, guys, Paul George is pretty upset right now. I think we need to offer him more money. And Steve Ballmer's sweating. He's like, you idiot. His family lives here. And they can't go to the games in Philadelphia. They'll have to live there. He lives here.
They'll have to pack things up into bags and move them. Are you fucking stupid? Oh my god. It'll never happen. It'll never work. And so, yeah, really came back to it.
Oh, some trouble in the mountaintops. Jamal Murray has been presented with a 4-year, $209 million extension, but he hasn't accepted it.
Well, if Jamal Murray leaves, I'll myself. So it'll be a very.
What's going on there?
I'll host this podcast as a ghost. I could be a ghost host. There we go. But I will not be around to support the Nuggets anymore if Jamal Murray walks. I just don't have it in me. And his trade value, I mean, right now, Jesus Christ, it's horrific. Motherfucker got locked up by Austin Reeves. So, yeah, that's not super. I don't want to talk about the Nuggets. Let's talk about Lauri Markkanen. How do you feel about that?
I just got an alert from.
Oh my God, you're so locked in.
From The Athletic. Yeah, I think Shams texted me directly.
Okay.
that the Heat are front runners for DeRozan now.
Well, that definitely changes their fate. Their ceiling, I mean, holy shit, it's just completely separate with a guy like DeRozan on the roster. I think he would be a cool 6-man, But in terms of like players whose Venn diagrams are pretty on top of each other, Jimmy Butler and DeMar DeRozan are very high up there.
Yeah, he'd be an awesome sixth man. But again, this is something he should have been forced to realize years ago, but he was not. So it's just like it's like letting your kid suck his thumb, or like you don't teach him to read, you teach him to hunt. And it's like, man, this is awesome. How many other 7-year-olds can use a bow and arrow and kill a deer? But then he goes out to a restaurant and he's like, can you read the menu to me? You're like, okay, this might not have been a good development path.
Yeah,
I guess what are you saying?
You go. Well, I was just gonna say I saw a parent on TikTok who let their child learn only when they wanted to learn or read. Like they didn't have them on any sort of even homeschool education structure. And so this kid was in like the first grade, and the parent was like, look at what they've already figured out how to do. And it was like writing the word bike.
That's a word I would want to write.
They were barely literate. And so it was just like, it was very scary. It was like, dude, you are literally giving this kid like borderline a disability doing this to them. So you should educate them. That's what adults are for. What were you saying?
I would literally never want to learn a single thing. I don't know what I would ever voluntarily choose to learn. Definitely not addition.
I would learn when Teen Titans was on TV, and then I would watch that. That would be my life.
I would learn how to play Pokemon Sapphire on Game Boy. So Jamal Murray turning down that deal, which is like $52 million a year. The only reason he would turn it down would be because he wants to make an all-NBA team and get a supermax. So would that be epic or would that be bad?
Oh, it'd be bad. It'd be bad. And I would love for Jamal Murray to make that amount of money. Like it's fine. It's fine. But like the whole problem with this is just that I know the owners would kill Michael Porter Jr. before they paid like luxury tax. They are so cheap. They don't want to do that.
Is it the Chronicles?
Yeah. And so if they're put into a bind, like they will let the team actively get worse in favor of spending a lot of money. That's the way they've always done it. They got fucking held at gunpoint into winning a championship by Jokic. But it's not like they're interested in building a dynasty. They're interested in making money. And so, yeah, I think if they had Supermax Jamal Murray, even like I don't really think he is like a super max caliber player. I think he's just like really good, and he's played the best basketball of his career at the most important moments. But in terms of like a legit second all-star on the team who is adding like 15-20 wins a game through his level of play, I don't know if we're currently at that kind of shit. So yeah, it's just I don't know, that would stress me out. Do you want to talk about, we're already an hour in, we haven't talked about a single Lauri Markkanen trade.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. 50, let me call him a little timestamp. Lauri, so I have 3 written down. We probably overlap in terms of our destinations. There's only been so many teams that have been reported with interest. I started with the Warriors. Do you have a Warriors trade?
I didn't write down trades. I thought we were just talking about his destinations. So run me through them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. I wrote down Kuminga, Moses Moody, 2025 unprotected, 2028 top 3 protected first round pick for just Lauri Markkanen.
Not enough. I'll be Danny Ainge in this exercise. Not
okay.
Enough. More picks.
The Warriors, they definitely have more picks to offer there, so they could like bid up to a point. I think the Spurs have them outweighed in terms of like bidding assets. So the Spurs, I wrote down Keldon Johnson, and then it's mostly picks after that. So 2025 San Antonio first round pick, 2025 Atlanta first round pick, 2027 first round pick, 2029 first round pick. No protections on any of those, and then they have more picks in 25 and 27 from Chicago and Charlotte that they could throw in that are like I don't know. There's a bunch of specific protections on those, like protected 1 to 14, top 5 protected, stuff like that. So Keldon Johnson plus a ton of bullshit, or you could probably pry young player in exchange for less draft capital. But I feel like if they're moving Lauri, draft capital is more enticing to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in the Spurs one for either side, because from the Jazz perspective, it would be the Atlanta pick is obviously like enticing, but the Spurs picks are probably not going to be great. Like the further out you go, and then I don't like going all in on Markkanen as Wemby's second star. Like I don't know if that's enough of a needle mover. Like and they are, so they want that price. Like the league wide belief for the Jazz is that they'll only consider moving Markkanen for a package similar to what the Knicks gave up to acquire Bridges. Oh yeah, and so the Warriors, Kings, Spurs, Timberwolves, and Pelicans are among the teams who've expressed interest. So it's tough for me because I do think he's really good. I don't think he's as good as one of those packages, but neither was Mikal Bridges. And so yeah, the Warriors one. So they give up picks, Kuminga, and who else?
And Moody, but they could throw. I mean, if I'm the Warriors, I want to keep Podziemski. I feel like he is ready to contribute to a deep postseason run right now. And I don't necessarily think he's like the kind of young guy that like a team that's going to win 15 games wants to add.
Yeah.
So I would like, it makes more sense to me for them to like look for more picks than it is to throw in Podziemski.
I would, if I get maxed out Warriors picks, Kuminga and Moody, I would be happy with that Markkanen return. Because and then like you could just build Kuminga's value if you believe in him or not. Just let him run the show for a year in Utah. Well, I wouldn't let him run the show. You know who I'd let run the show.
He could be a nice second option to Bryce.
Yeah, when they trap Bryce at half court, then he could kick it out to Kuminga. But yeah, so that would be an optimal return in my eyes for Markkanen. And yeah, it's so annoying with Danny Ainge because I know he's just gonna go the most annoying route possible.
Yeah, he's a tryhard as far as GMs go. Yeah, the Warriors. So in terms of like the picks, the Warriors picks are the cream of the crop here. Like there is no shot a 2029 Warriors first rounder is going to be good, or is going like the Warriors are going to be good in 29 is what I mean. Like they're like if they're making this trade, it's the Steph era where we're maximizing the last sparks of one for all, and then we are fucking dog shit for 4 or 5 years, and we are just gonna eat not having our picks for that moment.
Markkanen's going into his last year. So
yeah, he's
so someone's gonna have to pay him.
Great contract for this 1 year, $18 million. But it will like, is that a guy that you supermax? I guess I don't know what accolades specifically he has over the last couple of years, or what he'll get next season.
All-star.
He could be all NBA if he's on like a competitive team. Like I do believe that because this was asked to me on Twitter, and I answered Carl. Like, do you think Markkanen or Karl Anthony Towns is better right now?
Right now, I think you got to say Markkanen. I think the ceiling of Towns is higher because he can do more. I feel like his as crazy as they are, I think the driving game is not. Well, I don't know what Lauri's percentage is on drives, but Towns has more of a post-up game, and he's probably better on defense, but he's just so volatile and like the fouling out and everything, and just so inconsistent that his ceiling is higher as a player, but the baseline of Lauri is better. But we also haven't seen Lauri in the playoffs.
Yeah, I said you have to go Cat. Like that's where my brain went, because we have seen he has like swung playoff series, even though I completely agree. Like if you told me Lauri Markkanen is 20 points, 8 rebounds, good efficiency with like 40% 3-point shooting ish in the postseason, and like the floor of his bad nights is the Karl Anthony Towns floor in a playoff game, it is like actively damaging to the team. Like he can really hurt the Wolves when he doesn't play well. If Lauri avoids that, I would probably go with him. Even if the offensive ceiling, like you mentioned, is a little bit lower, which as scorers, I don't even know if it is that much lower. Like I really believe in Lauri's ability to like heat up from behind the 3-point line. I think he's just as good as a floor spacer as Karl Anthony Towns is right now, if not better. Like he just shot nearly 40% on like 8 attempts a game in Utah, which there's no Anthony Edwards attacking the basket there and kicking out to him. So I do think Cat on ball as a creator, downhill as a passer, especially better than Markkanen. And defensively, I thought it was Cat. I had people going to war online for Lauri as a rim protector, especially, and just like he's 100% as agile as Cat is. He's like better at going at wings and stuff like that. You probably have a harder matchup with Jokic specifically, but overall, Lauri is a great matchup for a lot of guys. So I would call it like a tie defensively. I need to learn a little bit more about how good Lauri is on that end of the floor. I went Cat because we haven't seen playoffs with him, but like if he had one good playoff run, I would be willing to entertain the conversation, no question.
Yeah. So if like what let me see, what picks do the Pelicans have? Like how can they get this done? Because they didn't give up much for the Murray trade, but they gave up stuff that could have been in a Markkanen trade.
They did.
Let's see what picks. So who did they take this year? They had Milwaukee's 21 pick. Oh, that's Misi. So they could give up him. And then they have next year's LA. Yeah, this Fanspo trade machine didn't update. So they already gave up that one. And they gave up the Milwaukee one. Okay, so they have their own 25, their own 26, their own 27, their own 28. Okay, so they have all their picks. Yeah, so I guess they could pretty much sell the house for Markkanen. But is that so? Murray, McCollum, Zion, Trey, and Markkanen?
Is Markkanen running center for them then? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I don't. Well, who do they have? So they lost Valanciunas.
That's the thing, especially if they send out Misi in a trade.
And Misi, even if he's on the team, he won't be starting this. I'd be pretty surprised if he was. Though I guess it would be like a Derek Lively trajectory, but still, I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I didn't even entertain the Pelicans in this discussion, to be honest, because I just don't think like it'd be cool. And if you roll out Murray, Trey Murphy, Zion, Markkanen, and whoever, like
and Herb, we're forgetting Herb.
Oh yeah, Herb too. I mean, fucking obviously, Jesus. So yeah, like that's tough because I'm so in on Trey Murphy as a starter. But yeah, that's just a small lineup. Like I don't think Lauri is good. Like I don't think he's a center. I think he's like a legit power forward. And so I don't love that fit. But if they got a big man, I'm comfortable. I'm on CJ McCollum's 6-man next year. Like that's what I want the Pelicans to do. I think he's just more suited for that role, especially now that DeJounte Murray's on the team. But the one I wrote down that I thought was interesting was a 3-teamer. It's a little convoluted, but those are the most entertaining, you know. Atlanta gets Walker Kessler and Karl Anthony Towns.
Whoa.
Minnesota gets DeAndre Hunter and Lauri Markkanen. And then Utah gets Clint Capella, Garrison Matthews, a 2025 Atlanta first rounder that is the unprotected Lakers pick, a 2027 Atlanta first rounder, the least favorable from either the Bucks or the Pelicans, a 2030 first round pick from Atlanta, a 2028 swap from Minnesota, and then a 2025 second round pick from Minnesota. So I think, saying all that out loud, they could probably get more pure draft capital than that, or like a nice young player back.
Yeah, I think it's not enough for Utah. I think if they just pursued separate deals for Markkanen and Kessler, I think they could come away with more than
Yeah, that's
that.
the thing.
Because
Is
a
like,
lot of those picks are not that good.
yeah. Oh, what I was gonna say is Kessler. He's another guy who like he might be on the move. If you're a
Yeah.
team that's looking to make a trade for a center, like New Orleans, he feels like a guy they could realistically pick up.
And he was also announced that he's going to be on their summer league team.
That is very like he's good. We know, and
he was on Team USA. he was on the FIBA World Cup team, wasn't he?
Like we don't need to put him out there.
So what's going on?
I guess he is like we have not been critical. He's young and the team is bad, so that hasn't reared its head as much if you're not constantly tuning into the Jazz. Which I mean, Mr. Bryce over here, maybe you
I
are.
was tuned in a lot, but
People fucking hate his offense.
He wasn't playing a lot. Yeah, he doesn't do much. He doesn't add much.
Yeah, which that sucks because if you're great defensively and you can be a lob threat, there's a path forward for you. But I mean, Gobert, like he's obnoxious offensively sometimes. If your hands are bad and like you have to be force fed lobs, you're like your athleticism isn't crazy and everything. It's just tough. It's tough for you to exist on the floor. So I think he'd be fine in New Orleans. I think there is a path forward for him to be an NBA player. Is he going to be one of the best rim protectors in the league? Maybe, but I'm not as sold on that as I was like his rookie year. But yeah, I think he might be on. Like if New Orleans were to do business with Utah this offseason, I think it'd be for Kessler, probably not for Markkanen.
Yeah, and then what other destinations are there with him? We talked Warriors, we talked Pelicans. Who else is out there?
You had the list of guys with their draft picks. The only three I wrote down were him ending up Minnesota would be scary, Spurs and Warriors. You said New Orleans. Beyond that, I don't remember who you said. Do you have it?
No, I'm just reading a tweet.
Oh my god.
Let me search his name on Twitter. Let's see what that brings us.
Let's see.
That feature of Twitter has been completely obliterated and destroyed.
You can't find anything on there anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Make Twitter great again. I don't know how you do it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're screwed.
My goodness.
Oh, there's a fake trade where he goes to Philadelphia. How would you feel about Paul Reed, Ricky Council, and 3 first-round picks to the Jazz?
I feel really bad. I feel like the Jazz got robbed. But it is. Ricky Council's cool though. He's got a great name. First, it passes the name test with flying colors, and I do like him as a player. But I like Lauri Markkanen a lot more.
Is OKC still in talks? Is there any interest? Do we know?
I don't know how much interest there. I haven't seen a ton of reports throwing them around, and that's just like the Steph Curry media complex is like there might be interest there, but I just like haven't seen reports about it. I would like that for them. I've liked that for them since last trade deadline. I think they have the draft capital to pull it off, but you do have to pay Markkanen, and they already got Hartenstein. I don't know if they're really like active trying to bolster their team right now. I think they're probably comfortable running it back with the Caruso and Hartenstein upgrades.
I wonder. So there's a possibility that they just don't trade Markkanen, but I feel like that's less likely because is it an advantageous situation to re-sign him and then trade him when he's on his big contract already? No, right? Wouldn't he lose value, do you think?
I don't know. A lot of it depends on how he plays this year. Okay, so if we're looking at his numbers last year, they blew me out of the water when I was looking back through them. Let me pull them up here real quick because it's like the difference between like what I feel like is a legit max player and then just like a very good max player. So 2023, he's 66 games of 26 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists on 40% volume 3-point shooting for 64% true shooting. And then this year, he's 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists on 62% true shooting. And so it goes down a little bit. The volume goes down a little bit. I think he was better defensively this year. And so I feel like if he has like a career year next year, which they'll have the shots for him to do and everything, like I don't know. They probably won't be. If they're looking to move him, it won't be that competitive. But I don't know. I think if he has a great season next year, they re-sign him, then it's framed as like we have one of the best fours, one of the best big men in the league, one of the best offensive big men in the league. We have him under contract for a long time, and the cap is going to go up every year. So like this is really good value actually. Like it's not even, it's barely a max. Oh my god. But if he has a bad year or a down year or just a mid year next year and you max him, then it's like, oh, is he like the kind of like, is that who you're staking your future on trading for?
Yeah, it's interesting because they also do have a ton of young talent that they could wait with. And so if Bryce pops off, if Cody Williams pops off, if Collier pops off, if Keontae George pops off, if Taylor Hendricks will probably, he wouldn't be like a scorer or anything like that, but like they have so many guys who could theoretically hit, and then you're right back into being a playoff team with this guy as just a good player on your team. So I wonder if they might just end up waiting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think even if they waited, if they maxed him, I think they could move him and get good return.
Yeah.
I just think if the question is like we want 100% the ceiling of what he could possibly get us, then
it probably would have been last year, right? Because then you're selling 2 years of the cheap contract with major value.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So yeah, I don't know who else is involved besides Warriors, Spurs. I know there was like some bullshit Lakers smoke, like, but it's that is not
just take back D'Angelo Russell. I swear we can work this out.
We got some lobbyist requests if you want to run through them.
We could do a couple.
And then maybe patreon.com/state of the league this Friday. Maybe we just do a full-on mailbag episode. We got that's the thing is we're getting to like 30 lobbyist requests a week at this point when I put these out. So, and I fucking love that. You guys rock. It's incredible. And I want to get to all of them. I feel bad. I want you to get your money's worth, but we also said these are going to be shorter episodes if we're doing them twice a week and we're at an hour and 20 minutes. So, let me pick a couple here. This one, Ian McManus says, if the Timberwolves were to trade package Cat in a Markkanen trade, it would be a huge mistake. I don't know. I don't think it feels like a pretty lateral move. They feel like very similar tiers of players. It just feels like there's specific matchups. Like, I know Timberwolves fans are in love with how effective Karl Anthony Towns was at guarding Jokic.
Markkanen's not holding up to those back downs, I think.
Yeah, it's a much worse. And so then that like you have to throw Naz Reid out there. That like Lauri off the bench would be super OP, but you just don't have specifically center depth to throw at Jokic when everybody gets into foul trouble.
The Markkanen Naz Reid lineups would be so dope.
Oh, it'd be so cool. Like it would like that would legit be one of the most dynamic front courts I've ever seen in terms of like guard skills and shit like that. But yeah, I don't think it would be a disaster. I just don't think like if you have to attach shit to, if you can't do like a 1-to-1 swap, if you lose money taking in Markkanen or if you lose assets, I guess it could, that could be tough to extend your window into as far of prime Anthony Edwards as you want to go.
And it won't happen because the Utah Jazz and Danny Ainge, they're not going to give up someone like Lauri Markkanen as the face of their franchise to make someone like Karl Anthony Towns the face of their franchise. You know who they want to be the face of their franchise? They want to go all in on Cooper Flag. That's what Danny Ainge wants at the end of
Hell yeah. The Mormon. We got a
Kyle Filipowski. We forgot to talk Filipowski. He's basically Markkanen.
Yeah, they're the same guy pretty much. They already replaced him. He's Markkanen straight up, 100%. Gabriel Esparza says Angel Reese, the double-double machine. Chicago Sky, best basketball team in the city with an organization that cares. Hard to argue against that.
He said the Chicago Sky?
Yeah.
They kind of care. Like they actually are not that well run either. Because like I remember at the beginning of the season, Caitlin Clark had like a massive introductory press conference in Indiana. All the media was there, and they did not do the same with Angel Reese in Chicago. She was just like in a closet or something, just talking to a few people, and just overall, I think there's not a lot of funds put in that team and stuff like that. So they're screwed too. I wonder why they took her. I wonder if they took her just purely for PR, because they also took Cardoso before her, who is also a non-shooting big. And like even in the WNBA, I don't think two non-shooting bigs really flies or should.
It would be
fly.
funny if the meta was just completely like opposite of like it's as much packing the paint as you can possibly do for the WNBA.
I wonder if you could, because maybe it's easier to shut down their finishing with size. So maybe that's what they're going for.
It's definitely possible. Shout out to Angel Reese though. I love a fake 16 rebounds game. It's one of the most fun things in sports. And I unironically mean that. Like a possession where somebody gets four offensive rebounds off of their own layups just because nobody can keep them off the glass, and then they finally put the ball in the basket. That's like, yeah, you got heart, you got that dog in you. You can't teach that. That's an Angel Reese quote.
We got to pull up the Angel Reese Z-bound stats. She's the Zion of the WNBA. She's getting her own. Her efficiency is better because she's getting her own misses.
Her second jump, if you count the rebound putbacks as one possession, she's probably shooting like 48% from the field.
What if Zion had no touch?
If Zion had no, I mean, that's physically still an NBA player, but probably not a generational scorer or anything like that. I liked this name. Henry Pissinger wants to know if they made a winning time / clipped about your favorite team, what era, eras, would it cover, and who would play the head coaches? Pablo has to pick a different team because there have been enough shows about the Bulls.
I was trying to think of who's the most offensive person I could pick possibly I want like Harvey Weinstein to play Jerry Reinsdorf, and all of his scenes are filmed behind the prison bars. Like you can see the bars in front of him, and he's crying while he's reading the lines, and we're like, this is him. This is what he's like.
This is a documentary, actually. This is actually him. John Malkovich playing Mike Malone would be cool. I want that.
Let me think of another team that I could pick. What's a funny era that could be part of it? I think maybe the Process Sixers era.
That could be cool. You could do the end of the Bobcats. That could be fun. Like before they became the Hornets and the in Charlotte. So like the Kemba, Bismack Biyombo, just like everybody's giving them 60. They're just everyone's setting their career high against them and shit.
Where can I? Who's the funniest role we can get Tilda Swinton to play? Like, could Tilda Swinton be Eric Spoelstra or Greg Popovich?
Oh, Tilda Swinton could be Eric Spoelstra in her fucking sleep, dude. Oh my god.
Could she be Wemby? Wait, that's all right.
That's too far. Maybe you could do like Pelicans JJ Redick. Tilda Swinton.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. No, actually, I do want her as Spoelstra.
That makes the most sense.
So the Heatles, the beginning of the Heatles. Chris Bosh can play himself.
Nice. Who would play Dwayne Wade? I'm trying to think.
What's his name? The coach from All American. What is his name?
I've never seen All American.
It's so bad.
That's why I've never watched it.
It's fun to watch it first.
Oh man. For Dwayne Wade, fuck that guy who played Kang in Marvel and then he got canceled.
Jonathan Majors.
That's who popped into my brain. But he doesn't even look like Dwayne Wade.
He's just built.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm terrible at casting. Like I've never been like a good fan cast person, and so don't take my advice. But
I'm only good at casting Tilda Swinton. So
there you go. I like that. Yeah, my John Malkovich is my Mike Malone. Who would play?
All right, I got it. Big three or Kobe Lakers, the like 09. Tilda Swinton as Phil Jackson and Kate Blanchett as Jeannie Buss.
Who's Pal?
Who is Pal? Okay, so
there's the lady who played Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones. She could be Pal Gasol.
We're just going all female cast. That'd be epic.
It's Ocean's 8 for the mid 2000s Lakers.
And we could have like Tiffany Haddish as Kobe. That'd be epic.
Yeah. All right, Hollywood, hit us up, man. We're good directors. We have a vision. What was I gonna? Let me see. Oh, Frederick Borner said, question for Pablo. I took a little offense to this. Do you find your extreme handsomeness getting in the way of people taking you seriously as a draft analyst or a podcaster? Why don't you think I have that problem, Frederick? What's the problem, man? You don't think people discredit my ball knowledge because they're too taken in by my big brown eyes? What's the problem, man?
Wait a second. What's this guy's name?
Frederick Borner.
I have a feeling this might be somebody I know in real life. I'm suspicious of this person now. And if we ever get confirmation, I will have to block this person. So
that is so funny that my grandma is in the Patreon and you're doing like full conspiracy to make sure this person never leaks your online persona.
I might know who this is. So yeah, we're moving on from this one.
Frederick, reach out. I will take your $5 personally. I'll email you the Patreon episodes. Don't worry, man. We could do this. We could finish off with this one. A real big basketball, the coolest giant robot. I'm curious how you feel about this. There's a lot of directions you could go.
The coolest giant robot.
Yeah, I assume they just mean in fiction.
Yeah,
I've never seen Gundam. I love the Gundam designs, though. Like, purely aesthetically, that's one of the coolest ones.
Who else are your contenders? Because I'm thinking like Mechamaru, but he can't be at the top. That's just like a recent one I've seen.
Yeah, I think new gen, he's up there. For me, Iron Giant holds a special place in my heart because that's an interesting subversion on like a giant robot thing where like maybe he doesn't necessarily want to do all the classic giant robot destructive shit. Optimus Prime, I also fucking love. Shout out to Michael Bay.
I was at the movies the other night, and there's a trailer for new Transformers movie. Do you know about this?
No, maybe. What's it called?
It's fully. I don't know what it's called. It's fully animated, and it takes place on their planet, like before everything, before the war or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
And like Optimus and Megatron are friends, and it's like Marvel's sense of humor, and they're like buddies.
Oh God.
And then none of them can transform yet. But then
by necessity, they are not robots in disguise in this movie.
They are just robots, and then they like do something, and then they get given these things that give them the ability to transform.
The Allspark.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was because there's only one Allspark, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it couldn't have been that, but they're getting. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like trash.
Well, I love Michael Bay's Optimus Prime. I love those movies.
That was a good robot.
I'm
more of a small scale robot guy. Like
let me know what are some of your small robots.
I love the robot from Spy Kids, the spider thing.
Oh yeah, like the weird little beetle.
Yeah. I love Metabots. I love the episode of Zoe 101 when they're building robots to fight. I used to watch Jenny the Teenage Robot there's one episode where she like becomes human, and it made me really uncomfortable because I was like, oh, I don't know, that's kind of weird.
I like. Did you ever watch Batman: The Brave and the Bold?
Yes.
I liked Red Tornado in that series. He's a full-on robot, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that sounds familiar, but I can't picture him.
Yeah, he's cool. There's a couple like comic character full robots. Vision, I don't know. Like if you have like a rock that is the embodiment of humanity's soul implanted into your head, I don't know how much I fully count you as a robot. I don't know if that's robot racist or something, but it just he doesn't have the same vibes that a Red Tornado does to me.
So yeah, and then big robots. I gotta finish Gurren Lagann.
Let me Google big robots. Best giant.
I'm not gonna watch the new Big Robot movie where it's kind of like Iron Giant. It's like a robot in nature. I'm not gonna.
I've never seen that.
I'm not gonna watch a sad robot.
Does Pacific Rim count?
I never saw it. I've heard it's good.
Oh, it's good. It's so good. It's sick as fuck, dude.
How would it not count? Aren't they? They're the giant robots.
They're like mechs. So I don't know if a robot is something that like needs to be. These are piloted by people.
I think they count.
Okay, I'll accept that. Well, I have a list here, but it's not loading at all. So I guess we're just kind of left. Number 1, the Iron Giant. Easy. Oh my god. Oh, the fucking, is it Evangelion or?
Yeah, I never saw it.
You never? That's crazy. I've watched at least half of it. I need to finish it, but that's so surprising, Mr. Anime Pilled.
And I'm Mr. Nope.
Is it Nope? Are they?
Nope isn't heavily inspired by that.
Well, they do an Akira slide, so I know he's cool. That's how you know it's cool. Oh, Mecha Godzilla is up there for me, no question. I think that's a very cool, like vintage robot design.
The robot in Korra sucked.
Like Avatar, The Legend of Korra?
Yeah, did you ever see it?
No, I never watched it.
Yeah, there's a giant robot with a laser shooting arm as a villain at one point.
Because that always made me so mad. One of my favorite, like, not the village, but like the distinct cultural aspects of every tribe and how different their ways of life are, and like traveling around in that world. That's like one of my favorite parts of the original Avatar series. And so for them to be like, now it's like 1920s steampunk pilled.
Ugh.
That's like one of the biggest downgrades in fiction, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, why would they do that?
I don't know. I can't explain it. Shout out to King. We can officially rank Earthbenders on next week's episode. Shout out to King Boomy. That's just where my brain went. Do you have anything to say to the people? A calm little hour 30 in.
I'm excited for Twisters. I'm gonna get popcorn when I see it.
Oh, I'm going to A Quiet Place day 1 tonight. I'm excited for that.
I've heard it's good. I saw Bike Riders.
Did you like it?
It was good.
Cool. I'm seeing that tomorrow because there was no good show. There was no good show times for it tonight, so I decided I've been wanting to see. I like A Quiet Place 2, Part 2. Way better than it had any right to be. And I like Lupita, I didn't
see either one of the first 2. But this is day 1, so I'll be able to see it in order.
Yeah. The first one, just like incredible movie. Like it is really, really good. It didn't need a sequel. The sequel is good still, but the first one as a standalone, like incredible, great concept, great execution, really well shot, all that bullshit. Hot Tunes TV China, NBA, Jokic Joestar on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all that shit. Do you have any final thoughts?
No. Take it away, pal.
Pal, take it away.
Lay down